It's time for Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors.
Good Sunday morning to you. This is Karey Brown, broker-owner of Realty Executives Preferred Advisors, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. Today I'm here with James Sandstrom. He is the principal at Hayden High School. Good morning, James.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Sure. I'm happy to have you here. So today we're going to be talking about all the different things that go on at Hayden and the culture and all the great things that people need to know whenever they're making a decision, because obviously in Topeka you have quite a few choices. You could do public or you could do private. So we just wanted to educate the community a little bit more about the different school systems. We're halfway towards finishing out the school year, so now's a good time to be looking ahead and planning if you're going to make some changes. So let's talk about the culture in general at Hayden. What makes you different?
Obviously, we are a Catholic school, and so we start with that. All of our curriculum involves faith-based. So we bring religion into all of our classes, not just our theology classes. Our culture is going through a change right now, I would say. With new leadership brought in 2 years ago, there's an energy in the building that hasn't been present for a while, and it's reflected in our enrollment numbers. We have 30 more students this year than we did last year, and that was the first increase in enrollment for the last 10 years.
That's awesome. So whenever you say the different culture changes, we were talking during the break about community systems and groups that you guys have put into place. Let's talk a little bit more about that, because that's definitely different than what the public school might do.
Absolutely. One of the changes we brought in this year, we stole the idea from St. James Academy over in Lenexa, but it's called the community system. We're basically breaking down the class system and putting our school into communities. So we have a little over 400 students. So what we've done is split up them into 4 equal groups of roughly 100. And then within that 100, we split them up into 5 groups of 20. And within that 20, there's 4 or 5 freshmen, 4 or 5 sophomores, 4 or 5 juniors, 4 or 5 seniors. And then we've also rearranged our school to also reflect our emphasis on community. And we've put our lockers in with communities. So the seniors no longer have their hallway, and they weren't real happy about that. But they've moved on, and they're really happy with the changes also. But our freshmen are right there with our seniors, and enables the freshmen to get to know some of those upperclassmen and realizes they're not as scary as they thought. And within our house time, which occurs once a week, they get together as a community. The teacher gets to know each one of those students on a one-to-one basis, and they get together, play games, have some fun, and then we have community events. We've actually had some really great community events this fall. The highlight for me was probably our construction project. We had the students bring in donated food items, canned items, and then with those cans, they made a construction. And we had a life-size operation board. We had an R2-D2. We had some football fields that were designed using cans of food, and there were regulations that they had to follow, and we made a competition about it. They had 40 minutes to put it together, and we raised over 6,000 cans of food that were donated to harvesters.
And it's great that you donated to a charity all by doing, something fun that they got to interact together with. So the poor seniors, they didn't get their last hurrah of torturing younger, not that they torture them, but, picking on the younger classmen.
They do a great job with our underclassmen. We heard some rumblings about not having senior hallway. Personally, I don't get the appeal of having a locker in a certain hallway, but it was important to them. But what we did to compromise is we assigned them certain parking stalls and allowed them the freedom to paint those stalls however they wanted to. And our kids' creativity came out in some of their designs, and it was really neat to see them put the work in, because I think they thought it was going to be pretty easy. And it takes a few cans of paint to paint a parking stall. Absolutely.
I had actually seen that on a deal on, actually I think it was on Pinterest. I thought that was the greatest idea, something different for the seniors to identify themselves.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
It allows for some individualization, and it allows for some of our kids to show off their talents, because they're quite remarkable. I have no artistic ability whatsoever, so what they're able to do with the parking stalls is very impressive.
So speaking of seniors, I understand you guys have got some transitioning going on for some more AP classes. Let's talk a little bit more about that and how that works.
Yeah, we're making a push to more AP classes. This year we were able to bring in AP Calculus. We transitioned from college calculus to AP Calculus. We also brought in AP Lit Comp. Next year we're going to bring in AP Art Studio, which I'm really interested to see how that goes. And then we're going to continue to bring in more AP courses every year.
So you were talking about enrollment, and you said that you guys were up by 30 new students. What is the typical enrollment for Hayden?
Right now we're at 420. We had dipped below 400. And our freshman class this year is our biggest class with roughly 130 kids, and our senior class is our smallest class with 85. So we're looking to continue the trend of upward enrollment.
Which is really great. I know whenever I went to school, our class was 300 kids, and, you felt like you knew everybody, which has its pluses and its minuses. Everybody knows your business. And then but you also know you have a community of people that know you. Their parents knew us. We couldn't get away with anything because everybody knew who everybody was. So that is nice to have the smaller family feel, and not have, thousands and thousands of students in the school system. Obviously that can't be avoided, but it is nice in a private school setting.
Absolutely. I had a visit yesterday with some of our freshmen. We had a freshman overnight retreat down at Prairie Star Ranch, and I was visiting with them about their concerns of transitioning from 8th grade to freshman year, and they were talking about the size difference. And so we had an opportunity to visit with them about going from a class size of maybe 25 to a class of 100, but it still enables them to get to know all of their classmates in our setting.
Absolutely. So you guys have done some upgrades to the schools. What all did you guys do over the summer?
With the increase in enrollment, it required additional class space. Our major renovation this fall was the expansion of our chapel. We went from being able to seat about 40 kids to now we can seat up to 120. So when we broke out the wall, we took one of our classrooms, and then we brought in some new teachers and additional staff, so we needed more space. So we actually took an old dark room that hadn't been used in quite some time and a storage room and created a classroom. And we've upgraded our website, which looks fantastic right now, and we're looking forward to resurfacing our parking lot in the near future and making some other upgrades.
So speaking of your website, you guys have a new logo.
We do. We rolled out a new brand last year, and the kids were really excited about it, and it really, I think it had a lot to do with our increase of energy and excitement last year.
So I know everybody always wants to know more about the principal. So tell us about you and how long you've been with the school and all the good things that they need to know about you.
Absolutely. I graduated from Benedictine in the fall of '99. I've been raised in a small town my whole life. I was raised in Marysville, Kansas, small community. Went to Benedictine and Atchison, another small community, and I was looking for a small community to teach in. And a math position opened up at Hayden, and I went in, and even though for me Topeka was big, I went in and interviewed at Hayden, and it really had a great community feel to it almost 20 years ago, and I took a math position, and I've taught math for the first 16 years, and I've made the transition to administration, but loved every minute, and it's a perfect fit for me.
And your kids go there also, so that makes it easier to know where they are and what they're up to, and so I'm sure that's great.
Oh, absolutely. I've been looking forward to them coming through our doors for quite some time, and it's exciting to have my oldest there, and then Michael was an 8th grader, so we'll have 2 there next year, and then my daughter's in 6th grade, so the next 6 years I'll have 1 or 2 students in at Hayden at all the time.
And they know that they can't act up because Dad's the principal, right?
They won't be able to get away with anything without me knowing.
And you're also the tennis coach?
Yeah, I've been fortunate enough to coach tennis in my tenure there, and I've coached some great kids. Tommy Hunter obviously is a 4-time state champ, and great to work with him and work with his family, and it's allowed me to get to know the kids on a different level, and I really enjoy it.
And you mentioned new administration. So who is new at the school?
So last year, Matt Shambari came in and took over our president's job. And with that transition, I stepped up into the principal role, and then we also hired a new assistant principal, and we've added an admissions director, and some other staff changes have just helped create a more positive environment.
So anytime you've got a great community like this, you always want to hear about the feel-good stories, how it made a difference. Let's talk about Amanda Young.
Absolutely. Amanda is a senior this year. She is a student with Down syndrome. She has come through the parochial school system, so her classmates all know her. They all accept her. She's one of the class, but she's had quite the outstanding fall. In early September, the seniors nominated her to go up for Homecoming Queen. And then our process is they do some skits, and then the entire student body votes on who the Homecoming King and Queen are. And at our homecoming football game, she was recognized as our homecoming queen, which was a great experience for her, and it was great for our kids. And then a couple weeks later, she's been our volleyball manager and basketball manager also for the last 4 years. But she had an opportunity at senior night to get into a volleyball game against Manhattan, and she got to hit a couple serves, and she hit a couple aces, and it was picked up by the news, and it got on social media and it went viral. And I've never experienced anything like it. It hit over 3 million views, and we were fortunate enough to be featured as the top play on SportsCenter. So it was a great experience for that kid and for the family and really for our community, because we've all rallied around Amanda. She's a tremendous kid. She'll always tell you hi when you're walking by her, and boy, she is busy because she manages those teams, and she's an avid KU fan. So she makes it over to Lawrence for quite a few of their basketball games and football games and volleyball games.
That's amazing. Now she's actually a celebrity. 3.1 million? That's crazy.
She is, but it's not getting to her head. I was having a conversation with her mom, and we were talking about being the top play on SportsCenter, and she was watching it with Amanda, and Amanda was more impressed with the number 2 play than she was with her own.
That's awesome. So we're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsors, and we'll be back after the break to talk more about school safety and different programs that we do to help with the school system.
Southwest Topeka has a good neighbor. State Farm agent Jim Garrison, now at 29th and Urish. If your current insurance situation has you going around in circles, get off the roundabout and stop in and meet Jim and his wonderfully efficient staff. Let Jim Garrison give you a quote and make the Garrison comparison. He's confident that with State Farm's competitive rates, the right coverage, and his unmatched service, you'll want to make him your new insurance agent. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and Jim Garrison is there for you, northeast of the roundabout at 29th and Urish.
This is Stephen Parkin at Invista Credit Union. Purchasing a home is one of the most exciting and important decisions someone can make. Let me tell you why Invista is the best choice for financing your new home purchase. First, quick pre-approval process. Our fast decision-making gives you the power to act quickly and make an offer on your dream home. Second, local servicing. We service your mortgage in-house. You won't get a long-distance runaround, but a committed professional whose only job is to help you. Third, experienced team. We are dedicated to simplifying the process and educating you through the home buying process. Come by Invista. It's okay to dream. In fact, it's encouraged. We are your home buying partner. Give us a call at 785-228-0149.
Thanks for joining us again. This is Karey Brown, broker owner of Realty Executives, and you are listening to Real Estate 101. And I'm back with James Sandstrom. So let's talk about, I know that it's past now, but on November 3rd, you guys had a serve day. What all do you guys do, and how does that help benefit the school?
This was our first annual serve day, and what we did within our community systems is each house was assigned to a different charity, whether it was a manor or Let's Help, We had some kids go to our local parishes and assist. They were doing odds and ends jobs, from raking leaves to playing bingo with the elderly. We were wondering how it would be received by the community and by our students, because we haven't done anything like this, and the experience was great. The kids came back. We had a rally at the end of the day, and all the feedback was very positive. We had a football game that night, and I talked with a number of people that just went out of their way to let me know how much they enjoyed it.
I think that's great. Anytime a kid can go out and see someone, not necessarily less fortunate, but in a different phase in life, manor care. We're all going to get old someday, or older, and need help, and not everybody has that family support system or someone to sit and talk with them, or you do make a difference when you do that.
Oh, absolutely, and watching some of our kids get over some of their fears and their anxiety, and talking with people that they didn't know, whether it was elderly or people down at Habitat for Humanity or wherever, but it was kind of great watching them transition to being very comfortable after starting out with, I don't know what to say, but it was a great experience.
Yeah, most of the time they're so eager to have someone to talk to. You get to listen more than you do talk. So I think it's always great to hear someone's story and what defined who they are today. So let's talk real quick. I know our Giving Back program is kind of confusing. Realty executives, we decided that we wanted to give back to the community in some way. There's so many charities and so many wonderful, wonderful things that we could do to give back, but we wanted to keep it local. We wanted to make a difference in our community. So one of the things that we did is offer to do a Giving Back program to the school systems. We also do it with charities. And how it works is anyone, you don't have to be an administrator or a teacher or anything like that, or even work for the charities. But if you're passionate about a charity or a school system, you just say, listen, I'd like for you to donate to, like, say, for instance, I know we've donated several times to Hayden. One of the families had a student that had gone there, or some have grandkids, and they were passionate about Hayden and wanted to donate. So we take 5% of our commissions and we donate it to the school. We do not upcharge the seller or the buyer. That is literally from our own commissions. And that's just our way of making a difference. So we'd love to do the same thing with churches. Anyone that has, a passion about something, the deal is we either help you buy or we help you sell. So from that, we donate back. And so if you're interested in that, be sure and give us a call at 785-213-5188. On to the safety of schools. I know a lot of places have implemented drug testing. You've been doing that for quite a while, correct?
We've had it in place for quite a while, and there's nothing more important than keeping our students safe. So we implemented a drug testing policy where we randomly select a certain amount of students each month, and they submit a hair sample, and we send it off to get tested, and then get the results a couple days back, and then from there we support the students.
Absolutely. I know that that's been quite controversial. My kids are in a school system that just implemented that, and there's a lot of different views on whether or not that's a violation of their privacy, or some parents feel pretty passionately about not doing it. My personal opinion is I think I would rather know now if my kid had a problem than send them off to college and, not know and not be able to do something to help them. Plus, I think that they're at such a formative age that they succumb to peer pressure a lot easier. So I think it's a great program. I mean, obviously there's a problem in all school systems. I mean, I don't think any single school system is immune to it. So I definitely believe that it is a good thing. Again, I know that everybody has a different opinion or could swing the other way, but I think that having the opportunity to find out while they're still young and do something to help them so that they don't go down to a path that, number one, it affects them mentally, to where they can't come back from it. I mean, we've all seen the stories of the people that have gone so far that their brains are just fried. I think that's now's the time to make a difference, not wait till they get to college and hope that you catch it whenever they're home for, a couple of days. So I definitely think that is a good thing.
Well, and high school students mature in the 4 years that we have them, and kids are going to make some choices that are questionable. It's part of the maturing process, and what we hope in our drug testing policy is we give them a tool that allows them to say no. Sometimes peer pressure is tough, and sometimes it is tough for kids to stand up for themselves. But if they can use our drug testing policy as a reason to say no, because I may get drug tested, then we really see it as a win and a great way to support our kids and their families.
Absolutely. I think anytime you can make a change and it be a positive change, I'm sure that the school systems have seen a decrease or a decline in drugs usage. I think it makes a big difference.
Yeah, we take a survey each fall where the kids self-report drug use, and our self-reported drug use has diminished more than half. I believe our percent was at 2% this fall, for example, and that's tremendous, and that use can be anything from one time to habitual. But we've seen an overall increase in academic performance, athletic performance in the last 8 years since we've had the program.
Not to mention the fact with all the new drugs and the home-cooked mess that they've got on the streets anymore, it's great to give them a reason to say no.
Oh, it's a scary world out there for teenagers now, and I know I don't feel very old, but I know when I talk about, back in my day, we didn't have to worry about all these different things out on the market, but the truth of it is drugs are more accessible today than they ever have been, and kids nowadays have easier access to marijuana than they do alcohol.
Absolutely. There are several. I know when my oldest was in school, and I don't know that it's still going on today, but they would raid grandparents' and parents' drug cabinets, put them all in a bowl, and you pop one. You have no idea what you were taking. So, I don't think any parent wants to see their kid in a hospital. So I definitely think that is a positive thing to be doing for all school systems. So let's talk about the enrollment process. Say you want to transition to a private school, say you're public, and they want to come to Hayden. What would they do?
Oh, absolutely. First, I would like you to know that we have roughly 5% of our students are non-Catholic. So we do welcome all students and they don't have to be Catholic. They will be part of our theology curriculum because we do think that's very important. But our enrollment process, our enrollment season has started, and we have an admissions director, Sherry Kafer, and she does a tremendous job of bringing the kids in for a shadow day, which consists of them going. They partner up with a freshman with common interests, and they go with that freshman throughout the school day and experience the classes and the teachers and the atmosphere that we have. And then we follow up with them. And right now we're in the application process where they can hop on our website and apply. And then if they are eligible for financial aid, because we have 30% of our students that are on financial support. And we want to make Catholic education accessible for everyone. Our early financial aid application is open now, and it will close around Christmas. So if anyone is interested and would like to be considered for financial support, then the time to apply is now. But we'll take students up. Well, we've had a number of transfer students already this year. We're anticipating at least 6 more at semester. So it's never a wrong time to transfer over to Hayden.
Let's discuss the tuition model. How does that work, and what can parents expect to pay?
Absolutely. I would say we're not a tuition school. All of our students don't pay tuition. If a student is an active participant in their local parish, then part of their tuition is subsidized by the parish. So they would actually be paying roughly 40% of our actual cost. We have a fundraising model where 40% of our tuition is raised through fundraising. We have a big auction gala in the spring that raises a lot of money to offset parent costs. But the tuition that we have at Hayden is so much lower than on the coasts or even in the Kansas City area. Roughly right now, our parent costs, if you're a tithing member of a parish, is around $5,000. And I was fortunate enough to go out and visit a high school in California a few weeks ago, and their tuition was $18,000, and their facility was unbelievable. They had 1,200 students. It was remarkable.
Wow. So fortunately, we're not on the coast. I'm sure that their view was probably great too.
It was pretty rough. They had almost beachfront.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be nice? So let's talk about your website. Where can they find out different things that you guys have got going on?
Yeah, we've just redone our website, and it looks fantastic. We are at www.haydencatholic.org, and they can find anything from our daily announcements to our calendar to the application is actually online. We have ways that you can check your grades online if you're a student or if you're a parent there and track the progress. Anything you would want to know. Our athletic schedules are on there. Our class offerings are on there. It's really an all-inclusive website.
So what sports and events do you guys have coming up in December that the community could visit just to see if that might be a place that they're interested in?
Absolutely. We just finished out our fall season, a very successful fall season. We won a girls golf state championship and had the individual champion there, Caroline Setter. We had an individual state tennis champion in Brooklyn Hunter, and our volleyball team also won state this fall. So this winter, we've got basketball that's kicking off next Friday on the road at Baser. And then we have bowling that starts up in January. We brought in bowling 5 or 6 years ago, and it's been great for our students. We really look for our students to get involved. Right now we have over 95% of our kids involved in some sort of extracurricular activity or club. We also offer swimming. Boys swimming is right now. Girls swimming will be a little later in the winter. But we're excited to get the basketball season and the winter sports season kicked off.
I really appreciate you joining me on the show. Real quick, give them the website and how to get a hold of you again.
Absolutely. www.haydencatholic.org. And if you're interested in coming over for a visit or setting up a student shadow day, your contact would be Sherry Kafer in our admissions office at 785-272-5210, extension 110.
And if you're looking to buy or sell, please give us a call at 785-213-5188. If you're looking to buy anywhere in Northeast Kansas, visit our website at nekansashomes.com. That website has the Topeka, Lawrence, Manhattan, and Kansas City MLS on it. So it's the all-inclusive. You can see any home in those areas. It also goes clear down to Emporia, so all of Northeast Kansas. So be sure and check that out, and we'd love to help you. Thanks for listening to Real Estate 101.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the Karey Brown team from Realty Executives Preferred Advisors. Tune in again next Sunday at 11 o'clock for Real Estate 101.